In the last 150 years, global temperatures have risen. No one in the scientific community disputes that. But could there be an explanation that lets humans off the hook? One of the newer theories is that global warming is actually over and the Earth is now cooling down. You might be surprised to learn that over the last few years, the world hasn't actually got any hotter. So on the surface, it sounds plausible. The hard facts tell us that temperatures have dipped in the last few years, but if you compare that to the amount they've risen over the past 150 years, it's just a tiny amount. And not only that, but look closer at the graph. It's full of lumps and bumps. These are caused by natural variations, from changes in the ocean to volcanic eruptions. They show periods of cooling and of accelerated heating, but the overall trend is upwards. So those hard facts also show us that after 150 years of heating, a few years of cooling changes nothing. Another theory is that global warming is caused by the sun going through a period of heightened activity. It's a theory that's been around for some time, but it's incomplete, which makes it misleading. And the more we discover, the less feasible it appears. Our planet is constantly being bombarded by particles from space, called cosmic rays. And these rays, according to the theory, produce clouds. But the sun's magnetic field protects us, so the more active the sun is, the better we're protected here on Earth. So that means the fewer clouds form as a result, and with nothing to block out the sunlight, things here heat up. That sounds simple, but under scrutiny, it starts to fall apart.
I'm sure that there are solar influences on climate, and scientifically they're very interesting. But the idea that you can attribute all of the present warming to the sun, I think, is demonstrably wrong.
The sun, therefore, isn't to blame. Another theory is that those heating periods are just part of the cyclical pattern of life on Earth. However, there have been quite a few studies looking at the change in global temperatures over the last 1,000 years or so. They all show the same thing. This current heating period is out of the ordinary. MANN was one of the first people to conduct a study like this. When he published his results, he faced a barrage of criticism that even surprised him.
It's completely erroneous to think that that conclusion, which is the consensus conclusion of the world's entire climate science community, would somehow rest on one sort of pillar of evidence, let alone one particular study.
He points out that many other scientists with different data have reached the same conclusion. So here is what we know. The world is heating up. There is a direct link between rising temperatures and greenhouse gases. We're still piling millions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This, together with the other greenhouse gases, does increase the temperature. These facts are not in dispute. Which means for the time being, global warming remains the only theory backed by hard science. Steff Gaulter, Al Jazeera.